Dum dum da dum dum da dum 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 diddly doo diddly doo 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 diddly doo diddly doo 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 dum 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 diddly dum down bow ba bow wow 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 diddly diddly doo wow 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 wow. Right. Hello, welcome to DansDen Live number 54. I was really getting into it. I was really feeling my spirit there, get into that metalhead. How are we today? We good? I'm good. What's up, Ethan? Ethan, what's good? How was your weekend, mate? How are you doing? How's life been? Lovely to see you here. I had a fantastic weekend. Went to a protest, which is spectacular. Really, really great vibe. Obviously, like a bittersweet vibe because you're also there, like, damn, like, why do we need to protest? But damn, this is a sick protest. Like, that was cool. And and I actually went for a run today because I hadn't been for a run for like the last week. So yeah, other than that, weekend was pretty chill. Got to hang out with some friends as well. Got to see their place. Their place was incredible. They have such a lovely home. Oh my God. Basically, my weekend was just surrounding myself with good vibes around, the values that I have around equality and stuff. It was just the whole weekend was just very much that. But underneath that is always this element of, but we don't have it. And that's what sucks. So it was bittersweet. But, I feel enlivened. I feel my cup has been refilled somewhat, So not bad. What did you get up to, man? You said it was good. Do anything? Oh, the Bicester protest. Was it? Oh, there's a protest in Bicester, was there? Go on, my son. Go on, my son. Nicely done. I didn't hear about that. Do you mean Bristol? Bicester. Where is it? Yeah. Climate dying. There's a climate dying in the Bicester shopping centre. All right. Yeah. I mean, there's stuff. I didn't know there was stuff in Bicester, which is pretty cool. 1,000 people attending people protest in South Park in Oxford. Nice. Amazing. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. Good stuff. No, it's good to see. And you know what? It's powerful because I don't know whether we're going to, talk about this the entire episode, but I think it's powerful because of the fact that this has gone all over the place. Do you know what I mean? Oh, that was Bristol. No, that was Bristol. That was Bristol. That was the protest I was at. That was the protest I attended. I didn't see that happen, but as the march moved on, I was like, I reckon I was probably about 150 meters behind, but because of what was going on, like all the people with the signs around, there were people watching and filming and everything like that. Mate, it was dope. It was so dope. And like people were driving by in their cars, honking. They brought their own signs to the march, even though they were in their cars, and they had their signs outside the cars, honking their horns. Like, it was amazing. But yeah, I know that the march stopped, and we weren't sure as to why it stopped, but it did stop at one point, and no one was worried. We were all just still chanting, doing our thing. But I think that's probably when the statue went down. But I didn't see it go down. I missed that part completely. But yeah, 17th century slave trader went down, and I don't know if you know this, but what's particularly dope about that is that the reason. You could say the reason he was put in the water was because, they were just like, we just needed to throw him in the bin, because hello, why have we got a slave trader statue in the middle of the city? But it was actually the poignancy that, so this particular guy named Edward Colston, and there's a few things in the area named after this man, and he was responsible for trading like somewhere around 80,000 slaves, right? 80,000 slaves. And not only that, but he was actually accused of throwing his own slaves into the ocean and letting them drown and then claiming insurance on it. So he would kill his own slaves, kill people, black people, and would claim insurance of it. So the idea that he was torn down and then thrown in the ocean, or in the sea or in the river, whatever you want to call it, is kind of like a poetic justice. It really is, because it's like this is the demise you come to, and also. I didn't, and the thing is, I had no idea who Edward Colston was until all of this took place, and what I'd learned was that the people had been petitioning and they had been voting and speaking about having this statue brought down because it was offensive. It's like, why have we got a statue? Like, Bristol as a city is really working to not forget at all, but grow off of the mistake it made, because Bristol was built off of slavery. It literally was. That's where one of the main ports at which slaves were brought into Britain. So Bristol literally was built off of slaves. It was built off of black blood. And so there's a lot of responsibility and accountability held to that. Bristol as a city really knows that and gets that and sits in that, in a culture. And it's like, yeah, we know this is the case. We're not proud of it, but we get it. And you can see that same thing in other, you lit me up, Ethan, I'm going, but don't worry. Well, if the topic changes, we'll change. It's fine. I'm not going to talk about this again, because we did that on Friday, and I want to give it a break. But no, this is just really fascinating, because it's a part of history that is important to know. So yeah, Bristol was built off of slavery, literally. And so, excuse me. So yeah, Bristol takes accountability and responsibility for that, but it doesn't want to celebrate it. It doesn't want to have a statue that says, yeah, look at this man, he's traded 80,000 slaves. They don't want that. They don't need that. You don't need that, because there's a museum in Bristol that has all of that. And of course, there are plaques all over the place that say this. And actually, some of the roads, some of the buildings are named after slave traders. So, do we need a statue? And it was petitions. Tens of thousands of people signed the petition. And actually, there was a move for the council to have it removed, but they never did. And they didn't. So there were peaceful approaches. There were petitions signed. There was a civil approach to getting this thing brought down, but it wasn't brought down. So during a protest, they're like, all right, we'll do it. Fine. If you're not going to do it, we'll do it. And yes, of course, it was illegal. And yeah, okay, vandalism, blah, 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 blah. But for me, I'm just like, no, because this really does send a really strong message of, there are people who recognize that we will not absolutely tolerate in any way, shape, or form the celebration of anyone or anything that suggests that slavery was okay. Because of course, you can think back in the day, well, that's what it was fine. It was legal and everyone did it. That doesn't mean it was okay. That does not make it was okay. That doesn't make it fine. Back then, they might have thought it was fine, but that doesn't mean it was fine, right? So yeah, that was the protest I was at. And I'll tell you now, Ethan, between you and me, outside of that, we marched, we cheered, people in their cars were honking. There was a lot of positive support because, of course, during the protest, the roads were shut down. There was traffic, but even then, people in their cars were honking, cheering, putting up signs. It was a really united and positive movement, and there was very little aggression, violence. Like, in fact, as far as I'm aware, there was zero, because the only thing that they had to report on was the fact that the statue went down, which I'm like, yeah, if the council ain't bringing it down, tear the damn thing down. Do it. So yeah, it was a really, really good day, really positive, really, really healthy, and again, very peaceful. And even from the very beginning, from the posters to the speeches at the beginning to the speeches at the end, they continue to say, this has been peaceful, this will be peaceful, we will not condone violence, and we will not condone aggression. We are peaceful. This is a peaceful protest. And for the most part, from what I saw, and certainly from what I'm hearing, the only bit of aggression was towards a 17th century slave trader statue. So at a Black Lives Matter protest, it's kind of like, well, sound like nobody got hurt, I guess. That's all right. It's pretty good stuff. So yeah, it was cool, man. It was good. I got to have my sign and everything like that. Yeah, it was dope. It was really dope. So yeah, it was cool. So this week, I'm going to be reading again from this book, The Art of Being Brilliant, at the end. But I need to come off at 1:30. So 1:30 is my cutoff point. So I'll leave it from there. But yeah, did you get up to anything particular over the weekend, Ethan? Any new information around, the Isle of Man TT, or is there anything new about motorbikes you want to share? Because I'm wondering what the new developments are on motorbikes, and what they're thinking about, what they're doing at the moment. Because I don't think motorbikes have the same challenge as bikes in terms of their pricing. I know bikes can be expensive, but actually on the whole, they're not massively, like compared to cars, for example. I think unless you're going, you fixed it, go on, mate, fantastic, excellent. Did you do it yourself? Did you take it to a garage, or how did you get it fixed? That's great news, dude. Superb. Yeah, because bicycles are really expensive for what we think they are on the base level. But when I looked into it, it's like, yeah, there's a lot of science going into it. There's a lot of technology going into it, a lot of engineering. So it kind of makes sense. But also I looked at it and it turns out that there's not a lot of competition with bikes. So people can technically kind of charge what they want. And, for kind of the hardcore cyclists, they'll pay what they need to get the bike they need. But I don't know I don't know what the pricing is like for bikes. Like, obviously, they're in the thousands, but it sounds like to me the average motorbike is still pretty inexpensive, considering how cheap they are to run. There's an electric bike. I was wondering about that. How is it more dangerous? Hang on, let's have a look. So, bike. I mean, they're expensive. Wow, blimey. But I know. Hang on, no, electric bike, electric motorbike. I'm gonna motorbike. There we go. Electric motorbike. There's a limit. Here we go. So there's BMW doing it. PS300. Oh, it's a weighing scale. No, that's not what we're looking for. I mean, these are just like tricycles. Oh my God, Sport Rider scooter, 3,757 quid. But that's Glebe Healthcare and Mobility, so that's not like your general average runaround. There's a toy. So what's this one's another one. That looks like a toy as well. Peg Perigo Ducati GT Motorbike Red. That can't be. That's got to be a toy because it's 395 quid. There's no way in hell. Yeah, that looks like a baby's toy. That's definitely not. It is a baby's toy. There we go. I was going to say, it can't. There's no 400 quid bike out there you just buy that's like, that much. What's this one? That's a pocket bike. I imagine electric bikes are really, really expensive. I imagine they're incredibly expensive. So there's here we go. 10 most powerful electric motorcycles to buy in 2020. 2019 Zero FXS is the affordable electric motorbike. So yeah, go on, hang on. Oh, Abby's here. Hi, Abby. Sorry. Hi, Abby. Hello. I was looking at a different page. I'm so sorry. How are you? How's the weekend been? What's been going on? So a brand new 125cc is at an average price of 4.5 to 5k. Okay. The electric motorcycle has enough bhp to flip the bike while slowly accelerating. That's what I thought immediately, because I know in cars, for example, electric cars actually have a higher amount of like horsepower, I don't know, torque, horsepower in them than petrol cars do, or gas cars, whatever you want to call them. Obviously their mileage isn't as great, which they're working on, I'm sure, and they'll get there. But that's why I'm just like, a bike. Jesus. I imagine, yeah, if you wanted to, you could send a bike flying, an electric bike. You got to be really careful with those things. And I'd wonder how they managed to monitor, or what's the word, mediate the output of power in a bike, because of course with electricity it's kind of like, in a way, it's almost like it's on and off, I guess. This is from my uneducated stance, is that either that's it, either there's electricity powering it or there isn't. And of course, because of the way it's set up, it'll be like, here's all the electricity, here's all the power, ta-da, go, off you go. And I'm wondering if there's a gear setup where you can have different stages of power put in, so that you can have, like, for example, you have different plug sockets, I know, or different plugs that can only power certain things. I know that there's plugs that I have that are really good at powering my vape, but not very good at powering my phone. But then there are plugs that are really good at powering my phone, maybe a little bit too powerful for my vape. But then also there's plugs that will be really good for my computer, but, probably too powerful for my phone. I could have something that charges the phone, but not, you know what I mean? What was that? Oh, hello, Dexter. Hi, mate. Oh, what's happened? What's this? Oh, Dexter, what's happened? I don't know what's happened, but his face has been. He's had a scuffle. Have you had a scuffle, Mister? What happened here? What happened here? Oh, that looks like a bump. Did you hit something? Oh, this cat, honestly, this cat, unbelievable. The unmonitored. When you start the bike, you have all the power at once. Yeah, that's what I imagine. So, Abby, your artwork. Tell us about that. How's that been going? You said you're just finishing off artwork. What work was it? Is this thing? Look, you can see it. You saw it there. Wait. I'll show you where he's been bumped. Hey, you can see that red mark on the side of his head. He's got a bump. But you seem okay, mister, and you seem all right with me touching it, which means that it's probably not that painful and he's okay. How are you, Pookie? Are you all right? Tell the world how you are while we wait for Abby to tell us how her artwork's been and what's been going on with it, what the project was. Abby, what was the project and how's it going? You said you finished it off. Does that mean it's done? So, Dexter, how are you? Just let him speak right to the camera there, so he can tell us all how he is. He seems very well. You seem very well, Dexter, even though you've got a bump in your head. Oh, Pookum. Bless you. Poor little dogger. No thanks. I don't want your mouth on my mouth. You're not what I kiss. I'm sorry. Yeah, so hopefully they find a way to sort that out, Ethan, because no, that'd be trouble. It wasn't really a project, just was completing a painting. Oh, nice. Was it that painting, Abby? Was it that painting? The pinks and the purples and so on. The one you titled Crazy. Was that the one? Or did you finish that one? Is this something different? Wabba, 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 wabba. You got a bump on your head, mister. I would love to know how that got there. What happened? I feel like you walked into a door or something. But then I hope no one out there is hurting you, because that does look like a rather bad. I'm gonna have to send a picture to your mother so that she can see what's going on. Hang on. Right, hold still. What side? It was on this side, wasn't it? Hold still. Don't hold still. Oh, forget it. You know what? Just forget it. Just forget it. Right, sit down. There we go. Okay, stay there. All right. You'll be on and off the live today. That's all good, man. That's fine. It's paint. Are you going to post it, Abby? Will I be able to view it? Will people be able to see what you've produced at some point? Yeah, and Ethan, don't worry about it, man. That's fine. Thanks for letting me know. You pop in and pop out when necessary. That's totally cool. Absolutely fine, darling. No problem at all. Absolutely fine. Oh, I've just realised I need to send a voice note. Send a voca nota, not a voice note, a message. I need to send a message to a student. So I'm going to quickly do that while I'm also on the live, because multitasking is a thing that can be done, but sometimes the standard of performance is hurt. So, right, here we go. In 10 years' time. Yeah, maybe. Well, maybe sooner than that. We'd hope to think so, because I think when people start to realize how dangerous the electric bikes are, because how do you stop? I always wondered this. I imagine you just have to leave for. Oh no, I see. Sorry, hang on. Probably in 10 years' time. That was Abby saying that. Sorry, Abby. I mistook you for I mistook you for what Ethan was saying about bikes. Why in 10 years' time? Why that long? You post these pictures now. Go on. You want an email from the college saying you can go back soon, mate. Soon. I can't say again when exactly, but soon. All in good time. You need to clean yourself because you are stinky. You're a stinky cat. You know that. But you also need to sit down, because that's what I want you to do. I need you there. That's where. No, you stay there. That's where I need you. I need you just to stay there. Okay. Right. Yeah, no, not in 10 years' time, Abby. Send them out. Let everyone know everything in 10 years' time. But you'll be 81, maybe 82 by then, Abby. It might be too late for the world to see the glory that is your work. And it could be work that's like, before its time. So people are looking at it now and going, And then in 10 years' time, when they're used to seeing it, they're like, wow, yeah, this is amazing. Oh my God, I get it now. My mind has been open to the glory of Abby's structure and form of art, how Abby expresses their art onto a canvas. I see it now. And it's taken me 10 years to really appreciate and understand this thing. Whereas if you post it in 10 years' time, people will just be like, yeah, okay, this is the first I'm seeing of it. Let me try and digest it now without the 10 years of consuming this art that has been created, No, what I was thinking, Ethan, sorry, is I wanted to know how on bikes, when you start up, and I'm sure you learn this, obviously, you probably learn this in your lesson, CBT, CTB, C, what is it? I can't remember. The bike test, the critical bike test. I wanted to know, like, when you start off, when bikes go fast and they accelerate quickly, how do you make sure that the bike doesn't flip? Because you have to lean forward on it, surely, to keep the front down. But if the strength of the bike overrides your ability to lean forward, then that's where the bike flips up at the front, right? Is that how it works? I imagine. Hang on, just letting you know. I'll be seeing you at 2:30. Cool. Boop. Right, I want to watch some of these now. Let's look at some of the most powerful electric motorcycles. There's no sound going to play out. By the way, I don't think you got this. I said at the beginning of one of my videos, I think it was on Friday or Thursday, but you know how I sung the Disney song a while back, and people were like, Dad's going to get cancelled and he's going to get shut down and da da da. Well, I I looked at my list of videos that I had, and it turns out the Disney one wasn't the one to worry about. There was loads more, because it turns out every single video I've posted where I think I've shared a video or I've played something from another video, I've had a copyright claim slapped on it. I've had about 20 copyright claims since I've started this channel. 20. So, I mean, meh. What you gonna do, eh? What you gonna do? So you do a thing called tucking in, and it keeps the bike down while the petrol bike, but with the petrol bike, the torque and HP are contained. Okay, all right. So tucking in, and that's where you duck down and you're like that, right? Because that's what I've seen people do. You find them pathetic. What? The copyright claims? What are you talking about? Or are you talking about bikes? Don't you dare talk about bikes like that, Abby. No, I know you're not talking about bikes. But is it copyright claims? Because, yeah, I think they are very sensitive, and probably rightfully so. I think what it does is it brings them into, okay, I'm looking, oh my God. Bloody hell, the G's you probably feel off some of these bikes is quite ridiculous. It must be a bit like you feel your lungs press against your spine. That's not anatomically correct, but I think you get what I mean. That just, oh my Lord. Oh, what happened? Oh. So 0 to 50 kilometers per hour in 3.8 seconds, which is on a scooter. This is an electric scooter I'm looking at, and my Lord. Oh my God. Looks fun though. Looks fun. I don't want to subscribe. I haven't finished watching the video yet. Copper. Oh, this one's sexy. It's black and orange. Pretty fit. It's pretty fit. I don't know what it's called yet, but I'll let you know, Ethan, because you probably know. It looks fit as hell, though. What a sexy bike. Oh, it looks like 80 kilowatt motor. Don't know what that means, but we'll see. So 0 to 60 in 4 seconds on a motorbike. Oh, no. And that's the other thing about electric vehicles I've noticed. So it gave me the top speed, which was 110 miles an hour. I'm aware that at the top end, petrol bikes can go a lot faster, and at the top end, petrol bikes have a lot more power. So yeah, it's yeah, but that looks fit. 190 miles in the city, 125 miles on highways. It's all right. It's all right. Also, I got confused about what you were saying there. Next, it will be copper. I don't know what you mean. I might need to get a little heads up on what you meant there, because I'm not sure. So hang on. Kawasaki Ninja 2. Let's see. I think I know about this one because it's like one of the bikes, isn't it? Yeah. Hang on. So I'll go to their website and take a look at it there, because they've got it as like their thing. 26, starting from 26 grand. I love it. That's where it starts. So obviously we're looking at a bike that is really quite something. Available colors, black. Well, I mean, there you go then. That's it. Wow. 2019 Ninja H2. Find your dealer. Cool. Oh, so they've been going for some time. Right, let's have a look at the details. Oh, I see. Is it? So an American company that can fine YouTubers up to 45 grand if their content isn't what they say. Oh, I see. Well, there you go. Didn't know that. I mean, it is though for me. So whatever, Trevor. Right. So 170 kilowatt. I don't know what any of this means. Don't know what any of it means, mate. No idea. The model details, I'm like, cool, but I don't get it. View all specs. Thank you, please. Yep, that doesn't mean anything to me, but cool. Okay, right. 16 valves. I know that that's quite ridiculous. The problem is all of these things to me, They're the cops of YouTube. I see. Right. Okay. They're the law enforcement of this area I'm in. Better watch out for them. Uh-oh. Careful now. Then they come for me. Be like, oi, oi, you ain't teaching nothing to these kids, mate. Okay. You know what? No. Sit down. You stay down, mister. I'm not here to stroke you. You can sit there and be comfortable and sit on me, but I'm not here to stroke you. Twigsy will be here in 10 years' time. Well, don't believe it, honestly. Well, wait, it'll happen again, Abby. I'll get to the end of this video, and then literally Twigsy will be like, "Hi, everyone." Be like, "Well, bye then. Thanks for coming." Yeah, a lot of this stuff, the specs of this stuff, is so outside of my understanding of vehicles. Actually, not even just bikes. I don't actually understand what some of these things mean. To be fair, I don't actually know. I know the ignition being digital, cool. Starting systems electric, great. Force lubrication, wet sump with oil cooler. Don't know what any of that means. Liquid cooled 4-stroke inline 4 with supercharger. That means it's powerful. Like, I don't get it, basically, but cool. I'm guessing it's, obviously top end for 26 grand for a bike. I would expect it to be quite powerful. Quite indeed. I know. We didn't give you much attention over the weekend, my friend. I know we didn't, and I'm sorry for that. But we have lives too, and they don't revolve around you. Okay? So you can certainly get your attention now, but later on, it won't happen again, will it? No, it won't. It won't. I'm still watching this video, the top 10 electric bikes. We're back to a scooter again. And it's got a lithium-ion battery. Well, hey. I don't really know what to say about that. I haven't had breakfast yet, and it's very naughty and dangerous. Very naughty, guys. Really naughty. Not okay. Oh, that feels good. That feels good. So tell me, Abby, about this piece of artwork you've completed. Have you named it at all? Have you given it any kind of title or, specific identity of sorts? Does it have a purpose? Does it have a meaning, a reason? Why did it start? Tell us about it. I want to know about it. Share with us, please. Oh, excuse me. What's this? Oh, I'm getting a picture. What's happening? Okay, good. Excellent. That's good to see. Oh, fantastic. No, you don't want to talk about it. All right, then. That's fine. That is fine. It means that for now, we're at a bit of a loss as to what to discuss because, as you know, either I bring a topic forward or, of course, you guys decide to pick on something to discuss. So really, we can just sit and chill. I'll just keep talking about bikes until further notice and maybe eating. I just recognized that my laundry downstairs is done, so I'll probably hang that up when we're finished here. Or actually, if you want, I could just get straight on to reading the book. Once Ethan returns, then yeah, like I'll get on to reading the book and we'll go from there. And maybe unfortunately, Twigsy just misses the whole thing. You didn't call it anything. Okay. Or maybe in the process of creation or in the process of, it's even its inception and original idea, you can kind of think, what am I feeling about this piece? What is it about this that's poignant? But then actually, maybe sometimes wait, hang on. Let me just Google this. Sometimes I wonder, does art need to be named? Because I've been to a couple of galleries Here we go. Wondering if you should title your art "You're Not Alone." So the Artist Network. Let me have a look at this, because I think I've been to a couple of galleries in my time, and actually one thing I've noticed is some just are just like, this is a piece by this artist and it costs this much money, and there's not really a name behind it. It's just like, here is the art. Do you like it or not? And I like it because giving it a name also can lead a viewer or consumer of the art down a path that is contradictory to how we look at art, right? Because really, when we look at art, as we've talked about before, we want to really let our minds go blank to fill it with what is coming to us from what we're consuming in some forms of art, maybe not all, but some. And so actually naming it can take us, can basically cloud the judgment that we want to put forward, or the thoughts that we want to have on the art that we're consuming. And you could ask, does it matter if someone were to pay you, let's say, Abby, £500 for a piece of art that you've done, and it had no name? Would it matter that the person who viewed it had the polar opposite emotions you felt when you were creating it? Let's say you created a piece of art out of, let's say, pain or anger or anguish, and just bleh. And the person that bought it from you was like, oh, it makes me feel so light and so happy and so positive. It really brings me these wonderful vibes. And this can be down to your own decision, right? This can be down to your own idea of it. Would you be okay with selling it because you're selling it to someone who's not seeing what you saw in the art, but they're getting something out of the art? And you could also, you could say, no, I wouldn't sell it to them because they're not understanding where it's coming from, which means that technically it would need a name so that then people can really understand where it's coming from. Or you could say, well, my work has come from this place and it's creating an emotional impact on this person. It doesn't need a name. Hang on. So let's see. Beginner art questions. The paint is drying. Now what? To title or not to title? Artist Guinea Gluge approached us with an interesting question, an informed take on what artists can and should consider when debating whether or not to title an artwork. I don't like to title my acrylic paintings because I feel strongly about not influencing the viewer's freedom to develop their own thoughts, interpretations, enjoyment of the piece. Is there a good way to label the pieces for inventory purposes? What are your thoughts on titling artwork? So actually, that's a really good way of putting it. You don't need to title it for the public to see or potential buyers to see, but you can title it for your own sense of understanding, that piece as it was there. Oh, you really relax now. Bless you. Do you ever look at a painting in process on your easel and wonder what you're going to title it? Do you think you have to give an artwork a title, that there's no other alternative? I ponder this question quite a lot, but it always comes down to personal preference. The freedom of art. There are, however, a few things you may wish to consider before you move forward with your final decision to title or not title your artwork, and it is all connected to your intent. To title. Creating art for many artists means sharing the creative, passionate side of themselves with the world. Perhaps the intent is wrapped up in nostalgia and evoking the familiar or calling to mind sweet memories of the past. Perhaps it is about bringing the beauty of landscapes or the simple or complicated things in life to their audience. Do you want to influence your audience to see something in particular? Naming your piece would be a good idea in that case. So there you go. Or not to title. Other times, artists intend their audience simply look to observe the colors and texture of the piece. Do you want to give your audience the freedom to simply see what they see, interpret and enjoy it without suggesting by a title what they should be seeing? In that case, you may decide to leave it untitled, as I do. But artists know that no matter what they intend, viewers have minds of their own, and hooray for that. Viewers see that they want to see regardless of the artist's intentions. In fact, some artists title their artworks, yet they become nicknamed despite these designations, as with James McNeil's Whistler's arrangement in grey and black, which became known as Whistler's Mother. So many artists couple untitled with a numerical system of recording that untitled might be the most common title of all. Plein air and landscape artists. So plein air is plein air. I think that's how it's said. Hang on, that's curious. Plein air. I don't know how they say it, but hey. Plein air and landscape artists often use the date or the time of day a work was made as inspiration for a title. Others, the location where the work was made. Square Triangle Circle by Sharon Sprung, oil painting. Sprung named this work after the dimensions, body position, and face shape of her model. Oh, cool. Oh, nice. Yeah, okay. Hello, Ethan. Welcome back. Welcome back. What we're doing is actually I'm just quickly reading an article which outlines the titling of art, whether or not it should be titled, because Abby hasn't named her work, and that's fine. Because I was saying, did you name it? Did something come up? And she was like, nah, not really. Didn't call it anything. And it made me think about the times where I've been to art galleries and they haven't. Look, mate. I'm trying to sit here. He's really being a pain because, ow, damn it. Ooh. You're a pain in the butt. Yeah, I love you too. Sorry, he's digging his claws in to stay up. You're dismantling a wardrobe. Ooh, fun times, good times. Yes, I was deciding whether or not to label art because art, of course, it can be subjective based on or objective based on well, both actually, subjective and objective, based on the kind of art it is. What does it instill? What does it evoke? Etc. Etc. And naming piece of art, as the article has said, and as I suggested beforehand, can either lead a viewer down a path that maybe is intentional, or not naming a piece of artwork can actually leave the piece very much open to interpretation on its own, meaning that the artwork is not to invoke a specific emotion, but just to invoke emotions generally. So yes, here we go. Some artists struggle with titles. Others think of phrases out of thin air or name works after a song that was playing at the time they were painting. Others enjoy clever titles that add layers of communication to the experience. Some artists want to convey meaning, others want to confuse. Naming or not naming your artwork has its pros and cons. If you decide not to, definitely come up with a system that allows you to talk about the work in a descriptive capacity to a gallerist, for instance, especially if you worked abstractly. Above all, spend time thinking about how your work communicates and what you want out of that give and take. It's a guarantee that your viewer will receive a variety of perceptions from you as a creative engine. Does naming or not naming your piece play a part in that? I think so. Now it is up to you what you do with that. Enjoy. So that's the article. And there they are. Here they are. It's Twigsy, everyone. Welcome, Twigsy, to the show. Welcome, Twigsy. What do you know? What do you know? What is happening here? How's it going? How are you feeling? Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. Right. Okay. Damn it. You missed the whole bit about YouTubers. I mean, we wasn't really about YouTubers. It was the fact that I'd received many a copyright claim and that Copper might be coming after me at some point because I've received many a copyright claim. Because I keep playing videos from other channels, and I think that's where the copyright here comes in. And obviously some of the videos that I played have had songs from what was it called? Like different shows and different films and songs that are copyright. So naturally, yeah, they're probably not going to be over the moon about that at all. They're probably going to feel a bit like, can you not? So yeah, that's what I was wondering. What happened to Veronica? I was wondering that too, because I think I don't know if it's just because they got busy. Because actually, Veronica's got increasingly busy as time got on. When we started, Veronica had the time to be here and be present, but I noticed as time went on, Veronica also. Just like, I've got stuff to do. I've got to get this done. I've got to get that done. Yada, yada, yada. So yeah, like, I think that's really what it is. Excuse me. So I think that's where Veronica's gone. It's okay. It's all right. Oh, there's more. There's more in this article. I didn't realize. Sorry. Hang on. There's more here. So Twigsy, just to fill you in, I really want to wash my hand because I just touched Dexter's butt and so on. Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Twigsy. Happy birthday to you. Fantastic. And you got a ukulele. Do you know how to play? Or did you want to learn how to play? That's pretty cool. That's amazing. I'm going to wash my hands because I feel gross. I touched Dexter's butt and he doesn't clean it very well. So 1 second. Oh, you already knew how to play. Fantastic. Oh, that's so cool. Oh, you know how to play guitar. Yeah. Oh, amazing. Oh, that must be so cool. And the ukulele is such an adorable instrument. That's great. You must be really happy about that. Yay. No, awesome. What else did you get? Anything else? Any other gifts or toys? Any other things? I don't know if I need to keep reading actually. Do you want me to keep going? What's this? Oh, this is interesting. Oh, Dexter's gone downstairs. Okay. I learned how to play the opening of The Judge by 21 Pilots yesterday. Cool. What, on the ukulele? Excellent. That's a good time. A rainbow chihuahua beanie boy. That's really cute. That is so cute. So cute. Hang on. I want to take a look at one. I'm gonna Google it now. So rainbow chihuahua beanie boy. I'm just gonna copy it and paste it and see what it looks like. I bet it's well cute. Ah. So I'm looking at the TY beanie boys, beanie bubby, beanie boobs, beanie boob. I'm looking at that. That's really adorable. That is cute. How big is it? Is it like kind of a, about like the yay big kind of standard, beanie boy size, or is it big one? You got some cool bed sheets. Amazing. That's really cool. Sounds like a really good day. And was the weekend good then? Was it just a weekend of kind of birthday celebrations and chilling out and taking it easy? I really should. What I should do is actually wipe this down as well because I realized Dexter's been holding this too. Should have mouth all over it. But yeah, it's 15 inches. Oh wow, that's insane. Okay, yeah. So I'm looking at that one. Oh, so it's pretty big then. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I'm looking at that now. That's so cute. Oh, lovely. And this one's only 6 inches tall, so you got one twice the size. That's mental. No, really cool. Yay! 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 Good. Wait, hold on. What happened? What happened? Everyone, stop what you're doing. Something's going on. What's happened? What's taking place? What have you missed? What's going on? Oh, so it's 6 centimeters, 6 inches per 15 centimeters. Okay, then. No, fine. Because when I looked at it, there was one there that was 6 inches and 15 centimeters. But, cool. Fair enough. That's still cute as hell, though. And that's fine. Absolutely fine. And awesome all at the same time. Ethan, I'm still watching. Oh, is he gone again? Probably gone again. Ethan's dropping in and out because he's got a wardrobe to destroy. Which, I mean, fair enough. Tear it down. Tear it all down. For sure. Yeah, so... Okay, that's cool. Still cute though. Still cute. Absolutely. Abby, are you still there? You haven't said anything for a while, but I can continue with the article because there's things like what's in a name or not, and then it actually goes on to suggest like different ways to name art. If you're curious, and I'm happy, it won't take long. Happy to read that part. It'd be pretty cool. So they're all about the same size. Yeah, I would have thought so. I would have thought so. All about that size. Yeah, Abby, do you want me to finish this article? It'll take like 2 minutes, quickly. But yeah, Twigsy, I was just reading an article out about naming art because I've been curious too, actually. And I wanted to, yeah, I thought I'd want to look into it because Abby's finished a piece of artwork, and I wanted to know the name of it, and I wanted to talk about it. But nothing, no name, no nothing. Just a piece of art that was created, and then so I was like, oh, what's in a name? What's in a name? That's a good question to ask. What's in a name? Let's look at that, because what's in a name? I really, really, really find this a really interesting question. And also, yeah, it's actually down to, that's a Shakespeare quote. What's in a name? So actually, that doesn't help me find. Where is it? Help me find an actual kind of explanation. Hang on. What's the meaning of a name? There we go. What is the meaning? This will be really interesting to see, because I in English literature at college, which I love so much, my teacher, Maureen Lenahan, champion. I'll still never forget her name. Never forget Maureen Lenahan, best teacher I ever had. Best teacher I ever had. Taught English literature, and I fell in love with language. I fell in love with the meaning of words, and I fell in love with the impact that words have, right down to the name of things. And it just, I remember we did a whole session. I'll never forget, we did a whole session on just names. And it was at that point in that lesson where she taught me about the concept of marriage and how she held on to her last name because of what it meant to her. To have her last name changed, she just didn't want it. She was like, no, this is who I am. This is my identity. And so I wanted to keep it as it was, because it was a constant. And it was the first time I'd kind of been exposed to that idea of marriage doesn't have to be this case of you change your name. And then it's a lady who has to change their name, right? So of course it holds up this concept of men carrying on the family name. Well, men can change their name too if they liked, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's of course how we see ourselves and what our names represent to us. And I think it's it's just really fascinating. So hang on, let's see. What does my name mean? No, behind the name, the meaning and history of first names. Oh, okay, here we go. Let's take a look. Oh no, wait, hang on. This is like, oh God. I mean, we could go into it. Let's go into it. So first of all, Twigsy, I'm going to use your name, not Twigsy, obviously, but I'm going to use your name, and I'm going to give. Oh, okay, here we go. Does it have like a background? So it's Spanish, English, and Swedish, and it was Latinized from Alice. In case you didn't know. Its popularity has peaked in the United States very recently, around 2018. It really, really shot up. In Sweden, it's been very popular consistently. Galicia in Spain, it's been consistently popular. Catalonia in Spain, it kind of dropped in and out, which is weird. And Canada, apparently back in 2003, was like the first record of it, and it just kind of bounced up and down a little bit. England and Wales, it's slowly tailing out there. But across board in Spain, it's been consistently quite high. So yeah, pretty cool. No, use your legal name, because I can't. I'll try Twigsy. Let's put in Twigsy and see what comes up. Hang on, 1 second. Popularity. This is interesting. This is so weird. So 1984, it peaked in popularity. In 1984, it was at, by percentage used, it was at its peak. Related. Let's see what related comes up. I'm gonna do this for all of you. This is so mental. So loads of different relations to your name. And in Greek, diminutive and short forms of your name is simply Kiki. There you go. I won't ignore the X. I appreciate the X. I know, I get the X. The X is just it's fine, totally fine. It just demonstrates that you are appreciating and loving this environment. That's all it is. It's fine. I've done it before. I remember I put an X at the end of a I was buying something from a seller in on Facebook Marketplace. We were having a conversation. I dropped 3 X's at the end, and I was like, whoops, and they never messaged back. And I always look back at that. I'm like, all right, you feel uncomfortable with the fact that I sent you 3 X's, then what were you doing here? Grace! Hi, Grace. Hello. We weren't expecting you today, so it's really lovely to see you here. How are you? How's the weekend been? Just thought I'd let you know it's Twigsy's birthday on Saturday, so, you know. Also, your legal name, Twigsy, your legal name actually has a 3% masculine rating as well, which is interesting. And God, there's so many. Wow. This is based on people's, judgment of the name. There's things like, is it classic or modern? Is it youthful or mature? Is it formal or informal? I could go in. Let's do this. This is fun. Let's do this. So it's 51%, according to the masses, 51% classic and 49% modern. It's 64% youthful and 36% mature. It's 57% formal and 43% informal. This is a weird one. It's 58% upper class and 42% common. I don't like the way they term that. That's a bit. No. Oh, and again, I don't. 43% urban and 57% natural. 68% wholesome. 68% wholesome. 32% devious. We love it. This is awesome, man. Refined. It's 75% refined and 25% rough. It's 59% strange and 41% boring. 41% simple, 59% complex, 53% serious, and 47% comedic, and then 55% nerdy and 45% unintellectual. This is amazing. Yeah, I know you're 1% away. Maybe we should all jump in there and just add ratings so that we can just, memify the wholesomeness of your name. Right. What else am I missing here? There's a load of other stuff because I was looking for a little background on the name, like a little write-up. So meaning in history, all it's got is this Latinized form of Alice. That's it. Let's do Abby next because I know Ethan's not here. And one day, Grace, you will do yours as well. So just so you know, Grace, what we're doing right now is, okay, I'm not watching the bike videos anymore. What we're doing right now, Grace, is I wanted to look at the meanings of names and the history of names and stuff like that. So that's what we're doing for fun. So we'll do yours next. I'm not going to Urban Dictionary, but thanks for suggesting it. I'm just gonna go with the flow of this. But Abby, right? Abby. It's a diminutive of Abigail. There we go, and it's English, just pure English. It's a purely English name, pure. Other languages and cultures, however, we've got biblical Greek, biblical Hebrew, biblical Latin, Spanish, Scottish, Hungarian, Hebrew, Hawaiian, and German. Tuesday's child is full of grace. So your day's tomorrow, isn't it? Do you do that every week, Grace? Every day you wake up and you're like, this is my day, bitches. This day is full of me. I'm going to take on the world. And then Wednesday comes around, you're like, I'm chilling again. I would take it easy. Actually, wait a minute. You were born on a Tuesday as well. Oh, that's cute. So yeah, amazing. Variants of Abby are Abby. So obviously E-Y-I-I-E. Gail again. Gayla. Gail with a Y-L-E. And then Gayla again. They're spelled differently. Amazing. People think this name is youthful, informal, common, natural, wholesome, refined, simple, and comedic. I love it. They've got categories, American Horror Story characters. So I won't go into that because I did that one before. Abby peaked. The name Abby peaked in 2003. Thought I'd let you know that. Yep, did a little jumpy poo right there. And it's dropped in popularity in England and Wales, though, dramatically. But there's been a surge of Abbeys in the United States recently. And France have just started getting on it and really, really moving into that place of yesness. So did I say it peaked in 2003? Yeah, 2000, basically between 2000, 2003 and 4, it peaked. It was a big time for Abbeys. Big time. There were some appearances, funnily enough, that we've noted in 1880 of Abbeys. But, after that, there was a time where I guess maybe those Abbeys weren't great Abbeys and they were like, let's chill with Abby for a bit. Let's just take it easy and, Okay, so Abby, 6% masculine. 6% masculine. 45% classic, 55% modern. 78% youthful, 22% mature. It's 73% informal and 26% formal, 27%. 63% common and 37% upper class. I don't like that standard. That's not a great way of, I don't like that that's been put in there. That's a bit, 33% urban and 67% natural, 71% wholesome and 29% devious. 57% strong, 43% delicate, 61% refined, and 39% rough. It's the 50-50 on strange and boring. Again, I find that really odd because strange and boring aren't really opposites. They're not really, polar opposite ends of a scale. Boring and strange are surely boring and exciting or enlivening, not strange. Because you could take both of those things in a bad way. It's just like, what kind of rating is that? Boo! I'm not going to read that range anymore. It's rubbish. 75% simple and 25% complex as a name. 63% comedic and serious is 37%. And finally, it's 56% nerdy and 44% unintellectual as a name. But there you go. It's really, really fascinating, this. Right, Grace, your turn. Let's put you down and see what happens. Yes, indeed, English. Straight away. From the English word grace, which ultimately derives from the Latin gratia. This was one of the virtue names created in the 17th century by the Puritans. All right. Yeah, exactly. Boring and interesting, right? That's exactly what I was thinking. That doesn't, I was like, boring and strange. I'm not doing that one. It's rubbish. The actress Grace Kelly, 1929-1982, was a famous bearer. I'm trying to be like Grace Kelly. Right, variants of Grace are Gracelyn and Gracelyn, as in there's one N or two N's. Diminutive is Gracie, but I'm pretty sure, Grace, that you have no one to call you Gracie. I feel like you're the kind of person who's like, don't ever call me Gracie, please. Only like maybe your parents call you Gracie every now and then. It's okay, but other people, you're like, let's just keep to Grace. Let's just keep it there. That'd be cool. Let's just hold on to Grace. That'd be lovely. Other languages and cultures, you've got German, Italian, Polish, Portuguese, and Spanish. So German, gratia. Italian, of course, grazia, graziella. Polish, gratia. Again, gracia. Then Portuguese, I wouldn't know how to say it. So I'm going to go with gracia and gracilia. And then gracia and graciela in Spanish as well. There you go. Now, England and Wales. My God. Oh, it went off in England and Wales and Northern Ireland and New Zealand and Australia. Grace just boo! Everyone was like, Grace! And your granddad calls you Gracie. There you go, see? Everyone just went nuts. It's Italy. It started to grow. The Netherlands were kind of like, sure, yeah. And France, again, like, just had a little play around with it for a second. Canada loved it and then went quiet for some time and then just peaked. These are all in, I've just noticed, these are all in 2018. Based on this website, Grace was ranked number 10 in 2018 as a name. Number 1 in Northern Ireland in 2008. Number 1. It was number... okay, wait a minute. Number 24 in 2018 for females, but for males, it was 925. Interesting. Okay, there you go. Popularity. Let's see what we've got here. So if we go all the way back to 1880, Grace, your name was pretty big stuff. Pretty big stuff. And actually, even then, back in the 1800s, through the early 1900s, Grace was still used as a masculine name for men. It was still out there doing its thing, living it large. But really, it was very much more common among women. And then it plummeted between, obviously, 1890, where it peaked, and then dropped all the way down to kind of 1955 and even lower, kind of 1975, it looks. And then suddenly, just before the new millennium hit, Grace just peaked again. People are like, Grace, let's, yeah, just do it. And it just got really like big. That was in the States. But in the UK, 2006, Grace hit its thing. Sorry, you've left a comment here. I was meant to be called Lily when my mum was pregnant with me, but a woman at her work kept trying to speak to me saying Lily, and my mum went off it. Right. Yeah, that's a good point. I wouldn't want someone to ruin the name of my child before they were even born. That would kind of annoy me. Be like, can you not? Could you not? That'd be really cool. If you didn't, don't. Could you please not do that? Thanks. Don't do that. Right, related stuff. We've seen that. Right, ratings. Here we go, Grace. Here we go. Let's look at ratings. Right. I've got half an hour left of this live. So after this, I'm going to do my name and then I'll go to the art of being brilliant. If Ethan comes back, we'll do his as well. But then I'll read the book. So here we go. 3% masculine again for Grace, which makes sense because there was a period of time where men were called Grace. And that was fine. But 97% feminine. Casper. Okay. All right. 74% classic and 26% modern. So it's an old school name that's having a rebirth, Grace. You're part of the rebirth of Graces around the world. 51% mature and 49% youthful, which says a lot about you, Grace, because I'd say you are quite a mature person. Quite a mature person. 71% formal and 29% informal. 62% upper class and 38% common. There you go. Fancy. 24% urban and 76% natural. And that makes a lot of sense. Grace is, I think, because of the definition of the word grace as well, outside of names, grace does have this element of like one with nature. I could feel that. Definitely. It's got a natural aura around it for sure. 81% wholesome and 19% devious. So far, Grace, your name has the most wholesome meaning behind it. 43% strong and 57% delicate. 83% refined and 17% rough. 50-50. Oh, no, I'm not doing that one. 63% simple and 37% complex. 66% serious and 34% comedic and 60% nerdy and 40% unintellectual. Look at that. That's, yeah. We love it. We love it. And then, and then there's the namesakes. All of the people called Grace. All the famous people called Grace. Amazing. There we are. That's you, Grace. I have to go after my name. My dad needs some help whilst the weather's good. We'll try and bottom. Okay, cool. No problem. Bye, Grace. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. Lovely for you to stick around and listen to your namesakes. There you go. Excellent. Okay, immediately, Casper. Right. So straight away, Twigsy. Funny you say, can you do my girlfriend's name, Casper? Anytime, Grace. No problem. Thanks for coming in. Because immediately the gender of Casper is masculine and the usage is Dutch, Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish. Dutch and Scandinavian form of Jasper. This is the meaning of history. It's the Dutch and Scandinavian form of Jasper. This is the name of a friendly ghost in an American series of cartoons and comic books, as in Casper the Friendly Ghost. Variants are Jasper, Casper, Jesper, Casper, Casper, Jesper, Casper. I mean, that's Dutch, Swedish, Norwegian, and Danish. Diminutive is Cass, just simply Cass, which probably makes a lot of sense because I imagine a lot of people maybe call your girlfriend Cass instead of Casper, unless it is just Casper. I like the name Casper. It's cool. It's a cute name. And I recognize that it is actually what's the word? Unisex. It's a unisex name. How I see it. I could imagine girls and boys being called Casper for sure. So other languages and cultures, there's Czech, English, French, German, Hungarian, Italian, Judeo-Christian legend, Latvian, Lithuanian, Polish, Portuguese, Slovenian, and Spanish. And it stopped in the United States. I don't know when, but like in the United States in the 1933, it just stopped. They just like, nah, we're not doing it anymore. In 1933, there seems to be no more record of it. I'm sure that it still did because actually I know a film where a guy was called Casper that is not from 1933. But yeah, apparently in 1933, they were like, we're done with Casper. That's according to this. We're done with it. Don't care. Don't care anymore. Whatever. The Netherlands, it's a pretty popular name. England and Wales, it's risen. And okay, fair enough. Okay, it's a chosen name. Fair enough. Okay, so they chose it. Cool. It's grown in England and Wales as a name, and then Netherlands, it's always been popular. Norway kind of kicked in a little late. We're just like, hey, Casper, that sounds like a cool name. Let's go with it. And Sweden have been consistently like, yeah, Casper's dope. So popularity. Well, we've looked at this. Yeah. So really, in terms of recent times, Casper's not a massive name. Even in the more popular areas of the Netherlands, it was 95. Number 95 rated in 2019. So Casper's quite a rare name, which is cool, I guess. That's it. Right. So it's 75% good name. I love this. And 25% bad name. It's 91% masculine and 9% feminine. It's 70% classic, 30% modern, 24% mature, and 67% youthful, which makes a lot of sense because actually I think because of our relationship with Casper the Friendly Ghost, I don't feel like you meet a lot of adults called Casper. And I'd like it, but you just Casper is a name that I wouldn't put on a older person. But if I met an older person, older than me, called Casper, I'd immediately see them as a playful and joyful individual, because Casper to me has always represented that kind of name. So I'm pressing this down because my hair really wants to misbehave today, and I'm trying to keep it. Can you just behave? Okay. It's 56% formal and 44% informal, 64% upper class and 36% common, 51% urban and 49% natural, and then 65% wholesome and 35% devious. So not nearly as wholesome as anyone else yet. 65% is the least wholesome one, but still more wholesome than devious. Good stuff. 48% strong and 52% delicate. Oh, excuse me. 70% refined and 30% rough. Now, actually, I'm going to do this one here because I feel like this is quite a compliment. It's 79% strange, and I think that makes a lot of sense because of the fact that it's a confused name, right? It is unisex, but also I can recognize that Casper. I recognize Casper more as a masculine name than feminine. I do. It's more often been associated in my upbringing with men than women, but actually, I can absolutely see women being called Casper for sure. Totally get it. Yeah. So I do understand that rating, and I don't see that as like it's weird, strange. I see that as because it does cross over certain boundaries for sure. 62% simple and 38% complex, 39% serious and 61% comedic, and then 76% nerdy and 24% unintellectual. There you go. Right, now I have an issue here because I want to use the name that people call me, but actually I'm going to go with Daniel because that is what I've been christened. That's my Christian name. So here we go. So immediately masculine, absolutely. But look at this. My God. Wow. English, Hebrew, French, German, Swedish, Norwegian, Danish, Polish, Czech, Slovak, Spanish, Portuguese, Romanian, Slovenian, or Slovene, I should say, Bulgarian, Macedonian, Croatian, Armenian, Georgian, Biblical, and Biblical Greek. Woo, my Lord. There's loads of different pronunciations of it. So there's Danielle, there's Daniel, there's Daniel, there's Danielle, there's Danielle, there's Daniel, there's, oh my God, it just goes on and on. Danu is Brazilian Portuguese as well. Yeah, it just keeps going on and on. So the meaning in history. Here we go. This is the longest one. I love it. Love my parents for this, man. From the Hebrew name, Daniel, meaning God is my judge, from the roots meaning to judge and meaning God. Daniel was a Hebrew prophet whose story is told in the book of Daniel in the Old Testament. He lived during the Jewish captivity in Babylon, where he served in the court of the king, rising to prominence by interpreting the king's dreams. The book also presents Daniel's 4 visions of the end of the world. Oh, God. Due to the popularity of the biblical character, the name came into use in England during the Middle Ages, though it became rare by the 15th century. It was revived after the Protestant Reformation. Famous bearers of this name include English author Daniel Defoe, which was 1660 to 1731, Swiss mathematician Daniel Bernoulli, 1772, and American frontiersman Daniel Boone, 1734 to 1820. And again, you go into the related names, and there just are loads. And then naturally again, what is the yellow? What's the green line mean? What's that mean? Interesting. So there's a blue line on the screen, which is masculine, and then a red line, which is the feminine. So in Israel, for example, what does it mean? Hang on. Oh, I see. It's different iterations of Daniel. So in Catalonia, Spain, it's lost its traction a little bit. In fact, it's kind of losing, except for Croatia, where it's just remained exactly the same forever. France, it really peaked and then dropped off. Mexico, it's consistently high. Sweden, it dropped off. Switzerland dropped off. Slovenia tried it for a little bit. We're like, nah, we're not vibing with this at all. Denmark, eventually, it just died out. Australia, it grew really massively and then dropped off. in all these places. Germany literally just kind of goes, let's try this out a little bit. Nah. Let's give this a little go. Nah. That's the shout goes. Amazing. So hang on, I'm going to jump in here and take a look now. I mean, these go far back as 1880 as well, and pretty much all of them, it looks like. Oh no, Australia 1952 it started kicking off. I think this just means like when they started recording it. But yeah, generally it's just a really popular dope ass name, isn't it? It's just, that's it. That's what it is. Related, right? Oh god, that just is obviously forever. Ratings, right? Here we go. This is the interesting part. So it's a 76% good name. This is Daniel, which is the name that people don't really refer to me as. So I'd love to look at Dan as well, but I'm going to read the book after this and then be done. 91% masculine, which again makes sense because, of course, technically the female iteration is Danielle. So 9% feminine. Classic, 76. Modern, 24. 60% mature and 40% youthful. Okay, 70% formal and 30% informal, 54% upper class and 46% common, 36% urban and 66% natural, which is weird. That feels weird to me. Wholesome, 74% up there. Get it? Woo! 26% devious, 74% strong and 26% delicate. But I think the reason that people would rate that because I think that's connected to the biblical history of Daniel and what it represented and who Daniel was in history. So yeah. That's what I would say. Then refined, 67% and 32% rough, 55% strange and 45% boring. I said I wasn't going to do it, but I'm doing it because I just autopiloted. 63% simple and 37% complex. I think that's, I'd give it a higher rating for simple. Daniel is, to me, a simple name. It's just Daniel, but it's my name, so I'm used to it, like Daniel. And it's so common. So, 63% serious and 37% comedic. And then 63% nerdy and 37% unintellectual. I think a lot of this is I'm actually very quickly going to look at Dan, but I think a lot of this there are multiple entries. Let's try this one. Come down to so you put Dan in, and suddenly a lot of it's changed. A lot of it's slightly different. So it's informal, it's more common, it's less natural, it's way more boring. And so on, and far more unintellectual. Dan is far more unintellectual, but more comedic, whereas Daniel wasn't any of those things. So Dan suddenly now looks different, which is the name that I prefer to be referred to. Let's see if it's the same here. Yeah, again, it's just, it's the same. It's the same thing. So you shorten it and suddenly the whole thing. But it's amazing how that's how we're viewing names, right? That's how we're looking at the names of people. That's what it is. What gender name would you give me? I like the name Twig, but I don't know if it's actually a name. Well, I wouldn't. I mean, I'm not going to go into that, honestly, because it's like, I think you could name yourself, if you want to be called Twig, call yourself Twig. Because you've got to think about how names come about. Names are like literally, who decides what's a name and what isn't? If you want to be called Twig, be called Twig. If you want to try it out, just refer to you as Twig from now on. Yeah. So I think it's a case of, because also the thing is, you're asking someone else to label you. So you name yourself. What do you feel like we want to be named? What's a name that you relate to that you feel like is it, and then you can look at gender neutral names and look at unisex names and go, right, what works for me, what feels like a good name. Because just giving yourself a name, I think, out of the blue, and me giving you a name, particularly when I appreciate that you feel like I'm in a good place to name you, but I don't know you at the level that you do. You know yourself to that depth. And so when you feel a name come up that really stands out to you, you're going to be able to go, that's what it is. That's what it is, So yeah, if you're not sure about Twig, then don't let it be Twig, I mean, you could shorten. The thing is, your legal name can be shortened, and it becomes, funnily enough, it becomes gender neutral. The shortened version of your name becomes gender neutral. Yeah, that's all. But no, I don't like playing that game. To be honest with you, because it's also a case of different names mean different things to different people, right? We can like certain names and we can not like certain names. And if you said to me, I thought about going with this, and I, for example, I had a history of people in my life who were named that and I didn't really like them, I'd be like, oh, that's a terrible name. Don't name yourself that. And you're like, but I like that name. Do you know what I mean? Whereas I could give you a name and you could be like, ew, that name is gross because ABCD. So yeah, you've got to name yourself is what I'm saying. You've got to do that. You know, you've really got to do that because that's you identifying yourself. Does that make sense? You're identifying yourself, and that's got to be done. Right. I'm going to read the next chapter of this book, and then we will call it a day. Where we get up to? Is this chapter 5? Yeah. Okay, cool. So we get up to chapter 5, and we call it a day. I'm just going to set everything up and make sure that we're in a good place. Right. Notice I've given up on this. I'm just like, I can't be bothered anymore. I'm just, no, can't be bothered. Can't be bothered. Right, here we go. So, glowing on the outside. That's the name of the chapter 4. Excuse me, pardon me. Can you stop ruining my ottoman? Leave it alone. I like this bit of furniture. Exactly. I know you want attention. That's what you want, isn't it? That's why you're doing this. Poor little boopy. Okay, glowing on the outside, in which we go retro. Dad gets a brand new Austin Maxi. We discover the truth behind Ready Breck, and the A-Team gets a mention. We discover why being a me could upset you, and we experience a life-changing car journey. Here we go. Well, I'll say this much. I know someone who's non-binary but has a gendered name, and so that again becomes a case of what you would like to do with it, right? If you're not sure what to do, then maybe that's a question of whether or not you need to do anything at all. Because again, my friend who literally has been non-binary again for a very, very long period of time has maintained their name because it's like that's how people will refer to them. So that's it. That's the name. And of course, you could ask yourself, what's in a name? I mean, we literally talked about naming stuff, naming art previously, and how we can either put meaning into the name or not, and whether we are happy with the fact that our name is our name. The name is not the problem. The fact that the name is gendered, does that matter? Does that matter at all? Right? Or do we want to change it? That could be the first step, right? Because then what could happen is, you could change your name and then actually realize that the name you had was perfectly fine. And there was something about that name that you connected with, that you were fine with and okay with. So the question really would be, do you need to change it at all? And then again, this is what I mean about looking into these things, because just because you're going to start identifying as a non-binary and making that a true thing about yourself. Sorry, that felt like something hit my leg. Then what was I going to say? Hang on, I'll put this down. I'm going to be going in 10 minutes anyway, so maybe I'll leave this because clearly this isn't what we're talking about right now. We're not going to want to talk about this. So yeah, basically, you don't want the inconvenience of people immediately assuming you're female when you tell them your name. Again, this comes back to this element, Twigsy, of you actually coming to a place where you're going, I want to make sure. Bear in mind, you're trying to avoid the unavoidable. Let me make that very clear. You're trying to avoid the unavoidable, right? So you can identify as non-binary. You are going to, what you could do as well. I don't think anyone else is here. Abby hasn't said anything. It's fine. But what you could do is go. You need to go down the road. If you're non-binary, present yourself as non-binary as possible. And I'll tell you this now, that my friend who's non-binary will still be identified, and actually I did it, will be misgendered, right? They will be misgendered because you're basically trying to go up against a very heavily socialized binary of gender. You're going up against the language, the attitudes, the prejudgment of This is going to be either a man or a woman and nothing else, right? And that's a subconscious decision that people make in their head. So no matter how hard you try to be, you know, non-binary in terms of the aesthetic and the name and everything like that, people are still going to want to put that label on you. So I'm going to suggest that you continue your course to go down this road of feeling non-binary, being non-binary, like by all means, like it's your right and it's what you absolutely need to do. But you want to make sure you're making these decisions based on what feels right to you, not what you're worried about what other people are going to do, because you're still then doing your work based on other people's opinions of you. You're going to get this, and I think that's going to take time to work with, but that is going to continue happening no matter what. I don't really identify or relate very much to the masculine or male concept of, you know, how men are, but I still get treated that way. I still get given the blue job. I still get, and again, because of my size, I still get treated like the big strong man. When actually sometimes I don't want to be that, and I certainly don't want to be assumed. I'll tell you this now. Over the last week, and this is another thing. It's like this, Twigsy. Over the last week, you know about the protests, you know about Black Lives Matter, you know that's been going on. That has taken so much energy out of me, so much energy out of me. And yet, people are still coming to me expecting me to be happy, to be positive, to be delightful. When actually, over the last week, I've been running on fumes. I've been running on thin air of positivity. I've actually had a really miserable week. And that's not to say that suddenly I'm feeling better. It's that's where I've been. So people have been coming to me for this thing that they assume of me, not being aware of the context, the environment, and they've just been assuming that I'm fine when I haven't been at all. They haven't thought to ask that question. And it's going to be exactly the same thing. They're going to be running off the idea that you have identified as male or female, and there's very little you can do to change it. I would love to be able to put you in touch with my friend if they were willing to talk to you about it. But yeah, like we had an open conversation where I said to them, I feel really bad when I misgender you, because also one of the challenges that I have, and I realized I have when it came to having non-binary people in my life, was that using they, them pronouns is actually, it feels rude. And I know it wants to be normal because I know that they, them is how people identify themselves. But actually in the English language, they, them growing up for me, as long as I've been alive, has also been somewhat of a dismissive term. They're over there. Oh, they're just doing that. And certainly when that person is in the room and in the space, using they is dismissive because it's also used in a way of language to not directly address the person. If I'm in the room and someone refers to me as, oh, they think this, suddenly now I feel like I'm outside of the room in a conversation when I'm in the room. And that's how they, them has always been positioned to me. So I've actually felt a discomfort in using that term. But I also said, of course, I recognize that it's my work that I have to do in order to get comfortable and recognize that they, them still refers to a person, and they, there, and that's it. It refers to a person. And that's the important part that I want to get comfortable with. And I want to be able to get into that space of. But I still made the mistake. I still did it. And I still had to say, look, I'm really sorry. And interesting, their response was, do you know what? I get it. Of course, people are going to misgender me. Of course they are. And they've done it both ways. They've misgendered them, both male and female. They've literally been misgendered both ways because people are still either working through, getting rid of, or not even addressing the binary. And so they're going to just throw it out there. They're just going to say he, her, that's it. And so what my friend is doing is continually just digging into that place of, I don't call it out. I'm not calling it. It's exhausting for me to have to continue correcting people. I'm just going to let them do it. And when I feel safe and comfortable with the people that I know I can truly, truly express myself around, then I'll do that. But I don't have the energy to call it out, right? That's it. And fine, people are going to judge me, or people are going to suggest this or that. Maybe if the issue is that you have the complication with it, then that's actually something that you will need to pay attention to. That's the thing, because otherwise you will run yourself to ruin, trying so hard to not look or present like a man or woman that you may actually lose trace of the identity you actually want for yourself in the first place. The whole reason you started this journey, right? You could try so hard to escape the clutches of gender binary that you actually lose track of who you're actually trying to be in this world. because it's still anchored off what people see about you. So I really strongly recommend, in terms of thinking about names, in terms of thinking about that stuff, just ask yourself, really ask yourself, is this actually what's important to me? And is it important to me for my identity and what I'm trying to be? Or is it that I'm doing it because other people will judge me for it? And those are two very, very different roads you go down, right? Because again, as I've said many times before, you are literally looking at, who does Twigsy want to be? That's the only important question. Yeah. And again, that's the other thing. That's exactly the other thing, right? So you've been trying to dress how you like, whether it's masculine or feminine as well, right? So again, or neither. But again, that's how you perceive it. The way you present will still have it, right? So then what could happen is you end up in a place, and then again, this isn't a bad thing. Some people will do this. You can end up in a place where you have worked so hard to be non-binary that you wear a blend of masculine and feminine together. And this is not a bad thing. I'm just saying that if your concern is that other people may say things, well, then you're going to end up in a place where other people are going to say things because they're not used to what you're presenting as, right? And suddenly now your presentation becomes a direct, visceral form of activism in people's faces, when maybe that's not what you're going for. It doesn't sound like you want the attention brought to you to these things, right? You actually just want to be identified as the way you identify yourself, right? But of course, we're all going to be doing it, right? We're all going to be presenting in a certain way, be it masculine. I present very masculine, so of course people are going to see me in the way that I present. But actually, again, in the way that I dress, I try to dress and wear things that are softer, that are gentler, because I like those kind of clothes, and I like the way I look in those kind of clothes. It softens me as a character, and I want to be able to put that part forward. But that doesn't mean also that I'm going to start, wearing women's clothing specifically, because that's an area that I don't nearly identify with. That's something that I don't necessarily look at either. So I really carefully gauge, and this is an extension of how I want to present, not what people say of me, not what I want or think people will say of me, how I want to present myself. That's where it comes in. This is how I'd like to present myself to the world. And that's the important part, not a case of, I don't want people to judge me for this, and this. And again, the difference is really, 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 really important. It can be a tightrope at times, but it's so important, because your whole purpose here, Twigsy, is to find yourself, not to hide yourself from people. And so, yeah, stay the course, keep asking questions, but make sure you're asking the appropriate questions, and make sure that you are not deleting who you really are and who you're trying to be truly on this earth. As you go through things, maybe you might lose your way at some point, and that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But again, when you get an idea of who you really are at the core, it's easier to get yourself back to that place. It's easier for you to go, hang on, this isn't me. I need to go back to this. Whereas when you're learning about yourself, you have to ask yourself, is this me? Is this what I'm about? Right? So I want to make it clear as well. I'm not obviously trying to put up any barriers to you exploring this stuff. And I really want you to understand that I'm very much for your journey. I'm very much for your exploration of identity and self. And I hope that comes across. And certainly what I want to ensure is that you, Twigsy, as the individual, as the unique individual that you are, sees yourself in this journey fully, so that you don't go down the road of, this is what non-binary is about. I really want to make sure that I'm 3,000% non-binary, where maybe Twigsy isn't there. So I try to make it a habit of asking myself my opinions on things, and if I like certain things, and if I like how I look. Yeah, for sure. No, absolutely. Well, with that, that concludes today's episode. It is done. It is done, people. We are done here. I've been, oh Lord. What's this? Oh, I don't like it. Blah. Oh God. Okay. Sorry, so many things. So, literally, yes, it can be whatever you want. Exactly, Twigsy, that's it. It can be whatever you want. You create it. It's yours. It's yours to create. It's not someone else's to tell you what it is or is not. It's yours to create. It's absolutely completely yours. You do what you like. And let that be it. Because then, of course, as you recognize that more and more, you're going to be able to also recognize that Twigsy comes out more in that understanding that it is what you decide it to be. Yeah? How you decide it's going to present itself. And that's where Twigsy comes out. So yes, I am here tomorrow at 12 p.m. and I will see you then. What I might do is I might read the book then because I didn't get a chance to do it today. But yes, I'll read it then and we'll go through it. But have a wonderful 22 hours and thank you very much all for being here. And I will catch you all tomorrow. Of course, as usual, not part of the peak. There we go. And scoop-de-roop. Dab it out for all of us. Why are they not showing up? This computer really struggles with emojis, man. It really, I don't even know if they're going to show up. Where are you? Come on. There you are. There it is. Fantastic. Boom. Have a great day. Twigsy, goodbye. Abby, I don't know where you are, but I hope you're okay because we didn't hear anything from you. But I hope you're okay as well. Goodbye. We'll see you all tomorrow. All right. Later, everyone. Bye.